When in doubt, make a YouTube video. Oh, so today I want to discuss this topic of seems to be like Christianity and fear. And even though you have a strong relationship or building towards one with the Lord, it seems like the overwhelming sense of fear and anxiety still doesn't really cease. It just kind of is still present. Today I was at work, and the beginning of the day was going pretty well, and anxiety kind of just creeps its head in, and it's just so difficult to get away from. You feel like you're making progress, on one plane of it, and then it seems like, but you're almost still in the same spot. I just don't. Sometimes I have a really hard time like figuring out if I'm doing the right thing. I mean, if I'm taking the right steps or if I'm pointing in the right direction. It's like, you know, as Christians and things, like sticking to what I believe to be the right path, I get small glimpses of revelation into what's going on. But at the same time, the pressure and the weight of anxiety and fear is it's terrible still. It sucks. It's ridiculous. It sucks to deal with. Reality is just terrifying sometimes. And like, no matter how much I try to cultivate a relationship and do these things and live right, live my days right and stay out of, sin or whatever it is, it doesn't seem to help get rid of this fear. I don't understand where this fear is coming from. It's like people freak me out sometimes. I don't like to like even interact and look at people because they look weird, and it's just very difficult. It's like I don't feel good here. I don't feel good on earth. I don't want to really be here, besides the fact that I have like a daughter, and this isn't every day, and that's another thing. It's like, why does one day feel awesome and everything's going perfect, and then the next day it's like everything can be so backwards, and like, you have a positive outlook and things are going great and everything's good, and then the other day, the next day, everything just kind of feels like a horror movie, and it's like I have such a hard time figuring out reality or what it is that I need to be doing with my life here, because I feel like I'm doing it, but at the same time it's like, all right, still dealing with the same problems here, it's still dealing with the fear, everything's terrible. I keep having recurring dreams of a haunted house. I have a lot of trauma from my childhood, a lot of like dad issues and abuse issues from my stepdad, and don't know my real dad, and then went down the wrong path and ended up doing things, and it's just like sucks. It's just so difficult to figure out how to address these problems. I mean, I go to church, I'm in counseling, but it's like, oh no, all the issues are still here. They're still here waiting somewhere. And the anxiety just sucks, man. It's like, I think the heart thing is the worst. This intense, massive buildup of energy like around my heart. And it's like you don't even know what to do with it. It's like so strong. You just want to like throw yourself through a plaster wall because you don't know what else to do with all this energy that's building inside you. And everyone's like, no one would guess that you're like ready to like, I'm gonna explode, And then like that and the blushing, it's like, dude, it's just relentless, bro. It's just relentless sometimes. And like some people, or whoever, just maybe like, you're always anxious, or like just, or someone gives you crap, or like just my old boss is like, we just gotta get over it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. If you could like show me how to do that, that'd be fantastic. I feel like it's gonna kill me, and like I feel like you want to find a purpose in your suffering. Like if you're at least if you're martyred, or if you're like persecuted for the Lord or something, at least like there's more purpose in that. But when you're like suffering and you feel like you're gonna die because you're like talking to a customer on a bad day, and you just want to dip and not be there dealing with that, it's like, wow, this is like so stupid. Like I can't even I can't even have a better word than that. This is so dumb. And it's not comfortable. Nothing's comfortable. Everything sucks. Everything's uncomfortable. Don't want to be here. Don't want to be alive. Don't want to be seeing right now. If I could pass out, that'd almost be great. Sometimes my favorite part of the day is when I just lay down and I'm almost asleep and my imagination starts to go. And it like tells a story and I don't really have to do anything. I just kind of watch and observe it and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just stay here forever, that'd be so great. I mean, without like Christ, without God, without being thankful and even in the face of horrible days, I would have no hope. No hope. None. Christ is the only thing that gives me hope and the only thing I find truth in, I swear. And I find it interesting because it seems like God is pretty custom with each person. He puts you in the right place, meets you where you're at, deals with you how you need to be dealt with exactly in the right way, in the right touch. I have a job where I don't customer face a whole lot unless I need to go on the floor, and nobody even knows I'm anxious. That sucks too. It's like everyone's like, I would never imagine you deal with anxiety. I'm like dying every day. Not every day, I'm being facetious, but some days are just not really, dude. And anybody out there dealing with the anxiety, the depersonalization, it's like I'm like leagues ahead of where I used to be. But man, some days, bro, it just whoo, you're like, oh my gosh, this again. Wow. What a treat. What a treat. Stay in prayer and stay thankful, and I'm glad these things pass, but I swear, man, it's like I feel plagued. I can't figure out where the fear comes from. I would love to see it as it is, what it looks like, right? Like, what does this fear actually look like? And, how do I deal with this in a productive way? Like I said, I have dreams about the haunted attics and UFOs. I have that video I posted at a UFO alien abduction sleep paralysis episode one time. Whatever that may be. Terrifying. Scarred me for life. Called on Christ on that when I finally said his name. I woke up and I was covered in sweat and disorientated, and it was a hot mess. I kind of want to hear like other people's experiences. I think the only thing that helps me get out of my own head is like when I can get in someone else's head and try to help them with their fears or whatever it is they deal with. It's just super tiring. Super tiring. Tired of it. Tired of the symptoms. I'm glad it passes, but man, some days, and it's unfortunate because I often feel more uncomfortable and like fearful than I am like in joy, because I don't know how to be in joy here. Everything feels obtuse here. I don't know. I see other people and I'm like, oh man, I wish I was like more of a brave man. I'm more of a courageous person, and some days I feel that way. I feel like courageous and brave if I even do a little thing. I'm like, yay. Like a small little flag. But man, if anybody else has anything to add to this, that'd be cool. Maybe your own story or something. I pray that I fight the good fight and I get through it with faith and end up in a place that's better. There's good things here and it's good sometimes, but man, it feels distorted and ugly sometimes. Just disgusting. I don't know how to relate here anymore, All right. I think that was it. Hopefully that helps somebody. Help me a little bit. It's good to get on here and talk. Bye.